We are waiting for her to do. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening. Wherever you're joining in from, if you can hear me, kindly say hi. If you can hear me, indicate your name, your startup name, and where you are logging in from. We want to see the countries represented here. We are waiting. If you can hear me, indicate. I can see a couple of people online. We are waiting. Your name, your startup name, and your location. So today we are talking about very important topic for startups. Now we build products, but then a lot of startups are very unsure whether their product is needed or wanted by the market. Now it's a common principle by one of the biggest startup accelerator, Y Combinator, that startups should focus on building products that are actually needed. Build products that your market needs. Do not go and build tech out of your head and you wish that your market will need it. You include all the grammar, all the technology, blockchain, artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. But if the market says no, it's a waste of time. So today we'll be talking about how to actually build products that your market needs. How do you do your market research to actually confirm that this is what the market needs? What are the processes involved in building products that customers need? How do you validate your market? Is there actually a market for this product? So today, we'll be talking about mastering product development for startups, mastering product development, overcoming startup challenges for building irresistible products. And with us today, we have Ms. Victoria Oladosu. Okay, so Victoria is a seasoned data-driven software product manager with over 5 years of experience. She's the founder of Product Hub Africa and STEM a school. She's currently building an edtech product for global use. Apart from building in the tech ecosystem, Victoria manages her organization's Product Hub Africa, an edtech firm providing training, support, and work experience slash opportunities placement for thousands of product developers, including managers, designers, engineers, cybersecurity analysts, data analysts. She has been featured on Punch Nigeria newspaper, African Change Stories, amongst others. In 2023, Victoria was recognized for her pioneering contribution in empowering secondary school students in northern Nigeria, Nasarawa State, with tech skills and resources, of which they built projects and were certified after the training. She has done this through her second organization, STEM a School, an NGO empowering students in Africa with tech skills and resources to make measurable impacts in the world. Victoria has courses online, articles on Medium, and videos on YouTube that teaches people about product management. She's an alumna of the University of Ilorin. She's currently writing her first book, Think Like a USR, which she hopes will help every techie out there trying to create solution for users. Please join me in welcoming to the studio Victoria Oladosu. Hi, Victoria.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, good to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
So, over to you. You have slides
Everyone
to
can
share.
if I'm audible enough. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I have slides to share some, and you can let me know if you can.
Okay, okay. So while we are waiting for our slides, so guys, I can see a couple of people in the room. Please tell us your name, your startup name, if there's any challenge you are facing with building your product, and your location. Guys, you're waiting for you. Are you guys shy? I don't know that people are still shy in this 2024. I'll start calling out names. It's unbelievable startups are shy. If you are shy, how will you pitch to your investors?
Don't be shy. This is where we are going to do with your startup. Ready? I'm ready.
Okay, let's have you.
Thank you. Though I can't. Oh, um,
You can what?
I can't see the comment, so I.
Okay, okay. So guys, while she's presenting, if you have any questions, please you can type in the comment section, please.
So thank you very much for pleased to be here. And today's topic development challenges for building irresistible. Very, very happy about the of founders. We all need some sort of just think it's all about that, but there's so many things of the startup that closed down. In my personal opinion, I was like, for them to have gotten to this stage before anybody or any um um involves much more expecting that company to just to tell you that that's beyond our imagination. Yes. But whichever way you so and that is what we're going hi
I
Chinoso,
think
nice to meet
your voice is breaking on Victoria. I don't know whether it's the network or
okay.
something. Please, can you guys hear her? If you can hear her, please indicate. If you can hear her very well, indicate.
Can you hear
Um,
me?
Rogers Chinonso or Chinonso. Please, if you guys can hear her, please indicate. If you can hear her very well, indicate.
Oh,
Okay. So they said
it's
your voice is
breaking.
breaking. Maybe you might want to maybe go out and enter the room again. Let's see if anything will change. Jay, so you are among those that are shy, that refuse to mention their name. So is your time. Jay, where are you logging in from? You cannot hide again. Okay, so we have Rogers, founder of Evocor Solutions, providing accessible energy solutions to remote areas. And we have Chinonso Iseri, founder of Resiliest, helping young children discover their purpose. Okay, so we have Victoria back. Okay,
Okay,
Victoria.
yeah. So
Yeah,
can you hear me now? Am I still breaking?
I think it's much better. Can you guys hear her? I think you can continue. Let's see if it happens again.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I want to start by showing you this infographic that shows the share of tech startups in Nigeria as of 2022, because that was when we realized that the number of startups in Nigeria is beginning to increase. So this is the chart that shows it by subsector, like fintech. Everyone knows fintech, health tech, education tech, mobility and logistics, recruitment and HR, agri-tech, entertainment, marketing, energy, prop tech, and others. So you can see that prop tech has the lowest percentage in the share of tech startups, and fintech has the highest percentage in the share of tech startups. That's because we have a lot of fintech startups in Nigeria, and I'm sure you know some of them because fintech has always led the pack of these subsectors. Even though it experienced a significant decline last year, which was 2020 as at then 2021, um, other ones are beginning to take a rise, like e-commerce, edtech, agri-tech, especially edtech and agri-tech, because e-commerce, we've known e-commerce to have stabilized the market, right? But edtech and agri-tech are beginning to come up and show the stuff they're made of. So this ecosystem, just to confirm, can you guys still hear me? Okay, let me
Yes, we can
see.
hear you. I can hear you very well.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. So This ecosystem is gaining recognition on the global stage. That means outside Nigeria. And recently, we're ranked the 61st global globally and the second in Africa, which reflects our emergence as a powerhouse of innovation. No matter where you go to in the world, you always hear, oh, um, Nigerians are really innovative, Africans are really innovative, and it's true. I don't know if it's because of our background, because of the challenges that we're faced with. We're really quick to come up with ideas and solutions, right? I really don't know, but we are really innovative, and I commend Africans and Nigerians for that, like all the time. And in Nigeria, Lagos is that big city that broke into the global top 100 cities for startups a few years back. After Lagos, I think we had Port Harcourt, Abuja, Ibadan, Belkuta. These places have also broken into um, top cities for startups. And the influence of these global startups weighs heavily on Nigerian tech startups. Over 60% of venture capital funding for Nigerian startups comes from the US, the UK, and yeah, those places. And 80% of companies here are incorporated over there. Many startup founders in Nigeria have extensive experience in global ventures. They must have gone there, experienced, and then come back to create theirs. I watched an interview recently. I don't know if you know PC Timmy. She was interviewing the founder of Childec, and he said he went to Dubai and saw how food was being delivered, or yeah, food was being delivered. You literally order your food now and you get it in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And he wanted to bring that to Nigeria. Instead of ordering your food and you get it in 30 minutes, 25 minutes, he wanted to change that narrative, and that was the beginning of child death. Okay, so most times our founders, they have extensive experience in already established global ventures before they come back to create something. And despite facing local challenges, our online businesses are making waves locally, internationally, everywhere, and they're positioning themselves as key players in the global tech arena. I feel like you should commend us for that. I thought I'll see like clapping emojis, because we're really making waves. Nigerians and Africans are really making waves all over the world, and I'm really happy about that for us. So these are examples of tech companies that have irresistible products in Africa. We all know Paystack, we know Flutterwave, we know Uber, we know MoneyPoint, we know Piggyvest, we know Bamboo, we know Jumia. I would actually like you to drop some in the comment section, some of the tech companies that with irresistible products in Africa that you feel they've been making waves, and even you have used these products and it has been very, very good for you. It has satisfied you as a user, and it has helped you to it has helped probably a problem that you had. It has given you a solution. So I'm still waiting. Let me see those examples of tech companies that you feel have created irresistible products in Africa. Okay. Branch. Yes, yes. Branch is very good. Branch is very good. GPay. Gig pay, sorry. Yeah, rice, yes. Cheaper cash, yes. So these are, can you see that all these you've mentioned now are actually in the fintech sector? Remember when I was talking about fintech dominating the sectors. App Zone, their bus service is the first in Africa. Wow, I'll actually like to hear about App Zone. That's really, really impressive. Okay, so let's continue. I like that these companies with great products in Africa. And that's another reason why Africa is the powerhouse of innovation, like I said earlier. So now let's go to the funding aspect. Um, This infographic shows the total funding secured by Nigerian startups per year. Remember that funding is a very, very vital part of your product. If you're building a product as a founder and you don't have funding, that's like trying to walk with no legs. Okay, and if you're a product manager planning to work at a startup with no funding, wow, I don't even know. That's like working with no head. So this infographic is showing the total funding that Nigerian startups secure by the year. From 2015 to 2023, you can see the significant rise in it, and that's because they are aware that we keep building things of substance and innovation, and we need this funding. So there are different sources of funding to get this that Nigerians actually slot into to get this funding year after year, and most times it actually works for us if you've got the right business model. Okay, so we'll come back to funding, but let's go to tips to developing the right product at your startup company. So we're going to talk about all these tips after I mentioned them. One, you have to define your startup goals and objectives. After defining your startup goals and objectives, you're still going to define your product goals and objectives. Then, two, you're going to conduct a market research and analysis and be sure to get feedback. Feedback is a very, very important part of making research. Three, you're going to develop a business plan. Four, you're going to finance your startup company. And we're also going to talk about using small budgets to finance your startup company. Five, you're going to build a strong management team. Six, you're going to market your product. Seven, you're going to launch your product. Eight, we're going to talk about some challenges that might come up. And nine, we're going to talk about how you can scale this product. So, while defining your company's goals and objectives, you have to keep them realistic. There is no point there is no point being ambiguous about your goals. You can say, okay, the first thing that you want to do is to hit maybe 100 users, 100 users in a month. So people might say, oh, that's too small. But being too ambiguous or overly ambiguous is when that product starts to die. So you have to be realistic about your goals and your objectives, because it will help you focus your efforts and your decisions on that product at that particular time. And it will also help your company's overall mission. Okay, so keep it realistic. Don't push yourself too much. If your goals are too easy, then I don't know. It might be somewhat hard for you to discover or to achieve your full potential. Okay, so you need to learn how to keep it in the middle, not too easy, not too hard. Keep them realistic, make them specific. Don't have different goals at different times, or you want to have 100 users in the first month, then you want to have male users only. You want to have users that are between the ages of 15 and 60. You want to target Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. It's getting too scattered. So you have to be specific with your goals. Okay, then write them down, share them with people, talk about it in places. But see, there's something about talking about your company's goals and objectives in places, please let them know that it is your goal and your objective, because there are possibilities for people to hear people's objectives. If they do not know that it is yours, they can easily steal it and build on it. Okay. So always let them know that this is something I'm working on. What do you think about it? That's a better way to go. This is something I'm working on. What do you think about it? If you were to use this product, what do you think about it? How would you use it? What complaints would you have? In fact, it's the complaints that I would really like to hear so that I can know what to work on. Okay. So after getting all these feedbacks, then you will review it and adjust it as needed. So, conducting market research and analysis and getting feedback. Remember, I said feedback, getting feedback is very, very important. And yeah, it's very, very important. No matter what you're doing, once you are conducting market research, you need to always get feedback. Conducting market research, it can take a lot of hard work and dedication, because I remember when I first worked as a product manager, like my first place, and we were to conduct a market research at different levels in different states. It was really tiring because people that were going to need these products are high level people. Getting access to them would have been very, very hard, and then they just pushed us to go and do it. I accepted the challenge because it was my first time. I was still giddy about it. Oh, now I'm a product manager. I'm trying to work on real user research. This is not for a demo. This is like real user research for a product that we're going to launch. Now it was time to get access to these high level people, and I think only three people answered us in a month, a whole month. Only three people gave us access. It was that bad. It was then it dawned on me that okay, I have entered this one and it is not going to be easy. So at the end of the day, the market research took us about 6 months, but we were able to get great feedback and get the products running. So it might not be easy, but it's something that you should be dedicated to. So it allows you to identify the opportunities and the threats in the marketplace. You understand the needs and the wants of your users. And with that, you'll be able to determine the most effective way to satisfy their needs. So there are different methods that you can use to make this research, like surveys, questionnaires, focus groups, and all of that. But we have a more professional and strategic analysis model that you can use to make this research. I actually wanted to cover these parts and ask if any of us know these professional and strategic analysis. But since it's already open, I'll just go ahead to explain them. So we have the SWOT model analysis. I'm very sure most of us know these SWOTs because it is used in different analysis, even apart from tech, right? So the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, we all know about this. So this is mostly used when you are planning, that product. That's when it is mostly used. By analyzing the strengths, you'll be able to get the aspect of the business that can help you to achieve the objective. And for the weakness, you'll be able to get the aspect of the business that can hinder you from achieving the product's objective. And then for the opportunities, you'll be able to get the external factors that can help you to achieve the objective. And for the threats, you'll be able to get the external factors that can hinder you from achieving the objective. So this SWOT model analysis will actually help you to understand what you're doing well and what you can improve on. Another one is the PESTLE model analysis. I hope you are following. I want to know if you're following. I'm supposed to check in from time to time to know if I'm communicating. Okay, I'm yet to
If you can hear
see a
her, please
comment.
indicate.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so the second is the PESTLE model analysis, which is used to study the business environment. So now you have gotten details from the planning stage and from your SWOT model analysis, right? So now is the person model analysis. This model analysis will help you to discover um, threats and opportunities that are in your business environment, political wise, economic wise, social wise, technological wise, and environmental wise. Okay. So for the political wise now, for example, there are taxes that are implemented in different cities or different countries. So you need to know if there are changes to this taxation or the trading relationships in that city, or if there are even grant support or funding support for businesses. So you need to know all of this, make proper research, make proper findings political wise, so that you can get all the information you need and use that information for your own benefit. Then economic wise, you need to observe the interest rates in that city. You also need to observe inflation rate, changes in consumer demand. Okay, is there a particular time that these people drink more fruit juice than soda? Or is there a particular time that they use liquid wash and they don't use detergent? Is there a particular time that they will prefer using POS outlets than using bank um, app transfer? All these things you need to study the consumer demand, your user demand, and study the interest rates, inflation, and changes in the consumer demands. Okay, so then socially, you need to understand the demographic trends or changing lifestyle pattern. So this reminds me of someone that I've forgotten the person because I read the article online. So this person sold soda. I don't know if it's something that's close to Coke anyway. So the person sold soda in an Asian country, and um this is the time that probably one of the influencers in that Asian country influenced against soda, saying, "Oh, that's what keeps me in shape," blah 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 blah. And at that time was when this person also launched his products in that country. What's going to happen to the product is definitely not going to sell, because at that time most people were drinking water, they were drinking healthy smoothies or fruit juice or whatever. So it was definitely not going to sell at that time. So what I read in the article was that he ended up suffering a loss. Another article I read that is somewhat similar to this is when someone this one is particularly funny. The person opened a pizza restaurant. Yeah, it's Domino's. Oh my god, how did I forget? Domino's opened a pizza restaurant in Italy, and Italians never went to the restaurant. It's funny because this is what they prepare in their houses. Italians will prepare pasta and pizza in their houses, and then you're not bringing it to them and selling it at what rate? They're definitely not going to buy it. So this is why you need to study your market, know your audience, and be able to meet their needs. Okay, that is not what they need. Pasta or pizza is not what they need to keep their tummy running. Okay, so study the demographic trends and the lifestyle of your users. That's for the S part of PESO, social part of PESO. So let's go to the technological part now. You need to study the emerging technologies and the productivity improving equipment that is available in that country or that city at that time. For the legal part, you need to observe the changes to employment law so that you can infuse this into your employment activities. People you're employing, people that are working for you, and all of that. You need to know the employment law that they should abide with. and the way your sector is regulated. If you're in the fintech sector or you're in the edtech sector, agri-tech sector, you need to know the way it is regulated and the laws that are backed by these sectors so that you can follow them and you're not taxed wrongly. Okay. So the environmental part, you need to observe changing expectation of your consumers or your users, the regulators and the employees that are available on sustainable development. So I hope that you understand the PESO model analysis more. It's just to understand your environment. If you're launching your product in Lagos now, you have to carry out all this research politically, economically, socially, technologically, environmentally to understand Lagos and the relation with your with the product that you're launching. Okay. So another one is the Potter's five forces analysis. This one is used to study how competitive your market is for that particular business model. So we know that before launching a product or before building a product, you need to do a competitive analysis research. Check out your competitors. What are they doing and what are they not doing? Then you learn from them and then you can also inculcate that. So this Potter's five forces analysis will actually help you to study how competitive the market is. You'll be able to know your customers' bargaining power. How do they work? How do they pay for this product? Let's say, yeah, let's say as a product manager, you want to use Asana or you want to use Trello. So there are different price tiers. You could have the free, the premium, and something like that. Let me say using the premium strategy, right? Pricing tier rather. If I'm going to launch a product or create a product that is similar to what Trello does, then I'll definitely have to look at their pricing tier. Then go and observe how people have been paying in the past. Have people been using more of the free plan, or have people been using the monthly paid plan, or have people been going all in and using the yearly plan? I need to observe these things before I can build my own product and even put my pricing plan because it will help me. Okay. So you need to know your users' bargaining power. The higher it is, the more downward pressure on the prices and the revenue that they'll be able to exert. You also need to know your suppliers' bargaining power. You need to know the threat of your competitors. Is it high? Is it low? So these are the things that you need to study. Sorry, I got muted. I don't know how. All right, so where did I stop? I was talking about the threat of new competitors that are entering your market or that particular industry. You need to also check out for that because every day you get new competitors. If not, what I mean by every day is like seasonally you get new competitors and you need to be conversant of them. You need to observe the threats. You also need to observe the threats of customers switching to newer products because whether you like it or not, not all customers that start with your products will end with your products. Not all customers are loyal. Okay, so you need to understand what is making them switch to newer products. Check out the metrics. The threat to let's say some products are their pricing, or maybe what people need them for, they're not satisfying the user's needs. Okay, that can be a threat, and then you need to know what the users needs, and probably you can infuse it into your own products, and by the time you divert them to your own product, then they find it worthy than that other product. So the level of competition between business market. So these are the things that you really need to observe, okay? And then there's another one, the Kano model analysis. Oh, personally, I don't really like this one, but it's also helpful because it can help you to understand how customer emotional responses to your products can be measured. okay, or your features, certain features in your products, how to measure it. It will help you to understand it. So, do we have any questions at this point?
Please, guys, if you have any question, kindly type in the comment section. Or if you want to mute, if you want to speak, you can indicate in the comment section so that we give you access to the studio.
Yeah. Okay. If there are no questions at this point, I'll go to financing your startup company and using small budget. So, okay, no, sorry, this should be business plan, right? Let me see. Yeah, this should be business plan. That's a mistake. Give me a minute, please. Okay. Um, okay, so I can see that there is no question. All is well and understood for now. So can you see my screen? I can't see my screen. Okay, I can see it now. I don't know why it's not changing, but please ignore this header. It's supposed to be first step in writing your business plan, okay? Or how to develop your business plan, actually. So, the first step in developing your business plan is to write an executive summary. So, it's an overview that will provide the general, what's it called, brief of your company, what you plan to offer, your products, your services, the people you're targeting, that's your audience, your users, and your goals. Okay, so the next section is um, a more detailed summary of your company. You can describe your company's history, where you got the inspiration to build that product from, um, what your plan in building the product, how many years you've or how long you've come, then what you plan to offer, your management team, if you already have one. If you don't, that's fine. Your management team, your marketing strategy, and your financial projections. Okay, your revenue, your expenses, meaning how much is coming in and how much is going out, how much you're spending on um, running the business. So the final section of your business plan is where you implement. So this is also where you will talk about how you plan to achieve your goals, your marketing plan, your sales plan, your operations plan. And once you have completed this, you have to review regularly. Having a business plan in year 2020 is not the same as having a business plan in year 2024. So you need to review it regularly to ensure that it's still relevant to your goals, your product goals, your product vision. And as your company grows, it will also change. So you need to observe that. Okay, so now we're going to financing your startup and using small budget to build your product. So we talked about this earlier, these fundings that are secured by Nigerian startups by the year from year 2015 to year 2023, and we talked about the significant rise. Now, let's talk about how we can access this. So funding in Nigerian tech ecosystem is characterized by diverse models. The top funding system in Nigeria, or I could say anywhere in the world, in Nigeria and Africa, is venture capitalism. So these people trying to build products, or founders and founders, they always have to access venture capitalists. And this is because venture capitalists play a pivotal role in helping early stage founders or early stage startup. Okay, so with the way everything is in Nigeria, there are some people that might not be able to access venture capitalists. Okay, and they might end up settling for things like crowdfunding platforms, or taking loans, using strategic alliances. And this might actually be helpful in the long run, but they tend to have more risks. Okay, and in 2023, funding exhibited a more balanced distribution across sectors than in the previous years. Fintech enjoyed a massive market size. Remember, we talked about fintech being the highest percentage of sector in the tech ecosystem. So, and fintech enjoyed a massive, in fact, till now, I could say fintech is still enjoying a massive market size in funding. E-commerce, transport, e-health, even edtech are attracted to significant investment, but definitely they are lower than the access that fintech has. And that's why most times people want to go into fintech. If it's not, if it's not total fintech, then it has like some sort of financial access to it. Okay. And I've noticed this about Nigerian startups, and I personally feel like there are a lot more things to explore than fintech. Everybody's building fintech, everybody's building products in the fintech sector, but there are definitely like a lot more things to explore in other sectors. But probably because it is easier to access funding while developing a fintech product, maybe that is why we can't really say. So Nigeria's tech startup ecosystem has experienced significant shifts in funding dynamics, reflecting challenges and opportunities in the financial terrain. In 2023, the startups raised this amount, 399,999,909,000 US dollars, down 59% from 2022. So despite this decline, the average round size remained relatively robust compared to previous years, which means there was resilience within the ecosystem. So my advice to you is that whatever financing option you choose, whether venture capitalism, whether you go to Y Combinator, you have loans, family and friends help you out, always be sure to do your research and understand the terms of agreement before you sign anything. The reason why I'm personally saying this is because I have heard stories, and I have seen people, let me say friends, that have fallen short of this. Okay, so you need to understand the terms of the agreement before you sign anything. It takes time and perseverance to build a successful startup company, but with the right financing in place, you can be one step closer to achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. So let's talk about funding challenges. Do we have any questions till now? I keep saying Nigerian tech startup because I believe most of us here on the call are in Nigeria, right? So Nigerian tech startup landscape has had its fair share of problems, drawbacks, and all of that. Most times it's always because of funding. Most times. And the depreciation of Nigerian currency against the dollar, also foreign country and all of that. So with revenue generated in local currency, this startup face challenges in making returns to foreign investors. Let's say I get an investment from a company or someone, an angel investor in the UK or in the US, and by the time I I convert everything and start to pay this person. You first think, oh, the person received 25,000 US dollars. You think it's one big money. By the time the person converts it and the dollar rate and the naira rate is has affected it, is really nothing anymore compared to what the person has expected it to be. So yeah, that's a challenge that startups or founders face when they're building their products. Also, investors are redirecting their focus from growth stage startups to early and late stage startups. So they impact the availability of capital for emerging ventures. So if you're an early stage startup, you can have the possibility of being granted funding than a growth stage startups. So despite these obstacles, startups are finding alternatives to investor funding. Initiatives like the federal government Startup Act and organizations like Lagos Angel Network, Y Combinator, and even established founders can continue to fuel the entrepreneurial spirit. So you could check up established founders like founders or co-founder of like Paystack, of Andela, of there's this one that I really know. But I know founder or co-founder of Paystack, founder of Andela. These people have actually helped companies or startups, early stage startups in the past. And there are people that you could check out to know their story or know how to access them. So when you apply for funding and you do not get up to the requested amount, or you do not get a funding at all, you might explore alternative avenues such as crowdfunding platforms. Open a crowdfunding account. People can actually, if your business model is very great, people can make some contribution or put some sort of funding for you, and this might result in you settling for a smaller budget. So expect this, that you might not get what you aim for. You might get something smaller than that. So I'm going to ask you, how do you think you can develop a product using a small budget? Okay. While you are trying to answer my question, which says, how do you think you can develop a product using a small budget? I'm going to answer Jay's question. So Jay's question says, concerning equity, when creating a startup, is it advisable to give any percentage of ownership in exchange for funding? So, do you mean that, let's say you're bringing in people that will be in your management team, let's say the product manager, the product designer, the engineers, promising them equity in exchange for paying them? Is that what you're trying to say? Or when angel investors are trying to fund you, you promise them equity. So please help me understand. So, how do you think you can develop a product using a small budget? I haven't gotten any answer. So let's say you were aiming for 10,000 US dollars and you later got 2,000 US dollars. How do you think you can use that to start something? Okay. So back to Jay's question, which says, concerning equity when creating a startup, is it advisable to give any percentage of ownership in exchange for funding? Yeah. So when you have angel investors uh, invest into your startup, honestly, I do not advise you giving equity, because you do not know if your company is going to be the next space stack or the next let me look for something that hasn't really grown. Yeah, the next money point. You don't know how big your startup is going to be in the next 5 years or next 10 years. And once you give them that equity, it's a for life thing. you have to keep paying them. So what I think that you should do, or what I feel that you should do, is always agree on a particular ROI. So once they invest, always agree on a particular amount that you're going to return after a particular number of years. So probably you start your business in year 2020. Let's say by year 2025, if $5,000 was invested, you can tell them, oh, they'll be getting $2,000 every year or every 4 years or something. Always agree on a particular amount than giving equity. See, don't play with your equity. That is something, never ever play with your equity. That is something that you should be stingy with. Out of everything that you might develop while building your product, your equity is something that you should be stingy with. Okay. So let's go into building a strong management team for your product. You need to identify you need to identify the roles that will be filled. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Identify the key roles that need to be filled. Jay, have I answered your question? I should have asked that. I hope I've answered your question about equity. Okay. So, building a strong management team for your products, you need to identify the key roles that need to be filled. You need to find individuals with the right skill and the right experience. This is also why some of us try to apply for jobs and you get turned down. Sometimes it's not their fault. And it might not even be your fault. It's just because they are searching for the right skills and someone with the right experience, because it's not easy to have started that company and they're going to need someone with that exact skill and experience that they're looking for to scale that product. So create a detailed job description for each role, conduct interviews and reference checks, make an offer to the candidate that you want to hire, do your um, onboarding, and start to work on the product. So that's how you can build a strong management team, because without a team for that particular product, I think you're just running a business that does not have like we mentioned earlier. So yeah, you need the management team in whatever you are doing, whether you're building a product or you're working as a service provider. You need a management team. Sometimes finding the right management team can be hard, like very, very hard. Some people get their perfect management team after 3 years. Yes. So you need to be particular about getting the right management team. Now let's move to marketing your product. Uh okay. Someone said you can develop a product using a small budget. Okay, very good. I have answered Jay's question, actually. I have answered Jay's question. So the first step to marketing your product is to define your target market. Who are your users? Who are your ideal users? What needs do they have that your product can satisfy? Once you know who you're targeting and who your users are, then you can start to develop a marketing strategy that will reach these audience. And there are a number of channels that you can use to reach your target market, like traditional advertising, using prints like newspapers, radio, television. All of this can be effective and also expensive. There's no one that is cheap anyway. There's no marketing that is cheap. Any cheap marketing, I don't think you should expect. Even word of mouth is not cheap, because before you can convince me that I'm speaking to you, before you can convince me to use a product, you try. So word of mouth is also expensive. Okay, so online marketing such as SEOs, content marketing, they're also cost effective and they can reach a larger audience because the internet is vast. So social media is another great way to reach your target audience, like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. All these platforms offer opportunities to connect with potential customers all around the world and create a buzz about your product or your service. And once you have defined your target market and you have developed a marketing strategy, it is important to track your progress and measure your results. Now, this is my favorite part. how to track your progress. How far has your product gone? How well is your product doing? Who are the people using your product? Who are the people that log into your website and immediately leave and they never visit that website again? Who are the people that use your product and they consistently use it, let's say every day? You know, there's some people that use the OPay app every day. Yeah, people like that. What is making them stay? Is it the real time network monitor? Is it the fast or the swift transfer? Is it what is making them stay? These are the things that you need to know these are the things that will make you know what to concentrate on. Okay, so measure the results, and it will help you to know what's working and what is not working and what you can adjust as needed. So tools that you can use to measure all these metrics are Google Analytics and Mixpanel. Mixpanel is very good. That is what I use. So when you're working with a product or on a product, you can use Mixpanel to do the analytics of your product and measure the track the metrics of your product. Okay. Uh, yeah, so launching your product, I'm really not going to, because I feel like we're way past time, but I'm not going to say so much about that. So I would share the link. Come in. I'll share the link so that we can read it because I've written a very, very extensive, what's it called now? A very, very extensive article about launching your product. So you can read it all. I'm trying to share the link. Okay, let me send it here. I've shared it in the private chat, so please help me share it to them. So these are the challenges that might come up while you are launching your product or you're building your product. You can have a bad launch. Maybe different things might come up. Maybe you targeted the wrong audience, or um, your team is incompetent and you realize late, or feature prioritization. Maybe you prioritized pop-up messages. You know that sometimes you don't open the Uber app or the Bolt app, but you just see a pop-up like it's been a while we saw you, or time for a trip, explore the right something something, or getting with the have a secure trip, or all those pop-ups. You definitely see it. So maybe you prioritize that over safety of the customers or the users of that ride. Probably safety is supposed to come first, meaning what are the safety measures that you're infusing into your app. If you check Uber app, there's a safety measure. If you check both app, there's a safety measure. So you need to know the feature to prioritize over the other. So if you use a wrong feature prioritization, it can also be a challenge because people might find it hard to stick to your instructions. Is not agreeing. Both is doing its own. What's that other one's name? Uh, Rider. Yes, Rider is also trying. So there's a lot of competitors, supremacy, and these are the challenges that might come up, but you can easily overcome management, the right team, changes. So growing or scaling your competency. This is one core competency. What is working for to focus on that and build. That is what sets your company. So what are you best at? What is your unique value. What do people know your core competency, and focus on that to everyone, because it's not going to sustain rather for your product to stand out strong team. There's no startup that can succeed. This is like the fifth time I'm mentioning the word team, because to take the time to carefully build a team of talented, share your vision for the companies. Remember, talented and they're not passionate, it's zero. If they're also zero, so they need to be talented and passionate early and often. Feedback, not a survey, making market research, even in working with, you need to always get feedback from them. This is essential. Help you to validate your ideas and sure, make it a point to get feedback from customers, someone else that you feel like their opinion, point to always get feedback from them. When in a Netflix, uh, are you enjoying? There's like the double thumbs up for love, and uh maybe you don't like it, use it. So whenever I watch a movie, thumbs down, or I click the double thumbs up, helped with my movie suggestion to me. I see that it is more of what I of the feedback me better, because they already know what um make it to always get feedbacks, constantly changing, and it will keep changing to upcoming trends. It might not be AI tomorrow, so you need to be adaptable, you need to be flexible, never go, the way you plan, but whenever it's necessary. Thrive. Have I mentioned always satisfied, like one of the most important? Thrive. It's not easy to start a company as a founder. Tough times, but personally, don't give up. Your success is what the started product of Africa, I guess, but thousands in numbers. So challenges so far, crazy time. Um, the vision has always um, so even if I'm not available today, I have every trust that my team is going to make things work, because they also share my vision. Sometimes they can even be more passionate than I am when we're working on a particular project. That's because they share my vision and they're equally talented. Remember, I mentioned talent and passion. So, but it was not easy to find this team. It was not easy to find the right team. It took almost a year. Some people had to go, some people had to stay, some people had to renew their strength, some people had to take courses, some people, it's really not easy. Even for me, I had to work on myself a lot, I had to do a lot of self-development. And at the end of the day, we're still thriving. So that's how I can encourage you to work on this. And that is where we come to an end on today's webinar. I hope I've been able to touch every area. I feel like I've been able to touch every area. This is like 90% of what you need to know. The remaining 10% is for you to put in the work. This is like 90% of what you need to know to master product development and to overcome challenges that you might face as a startup while building irresistible products. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Victoria. So, guys, if you have questions for her, you can send in your questions through the comment section. Okay, I think someone dropped a comment regarding developing a product using a small budget. Okay, from Kehinde, you have to prioritize the most important on your list. And then, secondly, you can partner with a venture studio that offers some services and support for the startup. I think that's a valid contribution. Thank you very much, Kehinde. CK Romy wanted to add something regarding the answer to Victoria's response to Jay's question. CK Romeo, you can drop your comments. That's fine. So, in addition to that, we normally advise startups to focus on. We normally advise startups not to prioritize giving equity at the beginning of their business, as Victoria has mentioned. As Victoria has mentioned, so there are other options like grants, um, um, getting loans. Just like Victoria mentioned, she mentioned something concerning getting loans or debt. So instead of giving equity, you can make it a loan where you pay back based on your profits or return on investment and the like. So, guys, if you have more questions, please kindly type in the comment section. If we don't get any question within the next minute, we'll close this session. So, once again, thank you very much, Victoria, for creating our time to share this knowledge with us. So, since we don't have any question, I think we'll have to close. So, if you have more questions for her, you can reach out to her via LinkedIn, or you can send the question to me and I'll forward to her. So, once again, thank you very much, Victoria, and for everyone that came out today, thank you very much. And do enjoy the best of the weekend. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Victoria.
You're welcome. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.